Hello everyone, welcome to the McGonagall Boxing Podcast. We are live, we're just going to shoot straight from the hip and let's get straight to it. Is it just me or is anyone else getting really annoyed with Cole Froch right now? Yes, a very good fighter, not great, but very good in my opinion. Yes, a two-time world champion, and yes, he'd be the first one to tell you he sold 80,000 tickets at Wembley against George Groves. Credit in all respects there. Yes, he had some entertaining wars and he fought some very good fighters and he beat some very good fighters, but he also lost to some very good fighters, and it just irritates me. And thankfully I'm not the only one going on various boxing outlets. I'm not the only one to feel this way when he constantly refers to Joe Calzaghe in what he calls a bit of banter, but I find it disrespectful, and so do a lot of people. The fact he says he would beat Calzaghe prime for prime. Now, I know fighters are meant to have this great ego, and that's what makes them good fighters, but let's have it right. Prime for prime, Cole Froch does not beat Joe Calzaghe. I'm sorry to say. The footwork, the movement, the output, the durability, that ability of Calzaghe would have just been too much for Froch, and I just don't think Froch sees this. And also, Calzaghe could have a tear up of anyone, but he wouldn't fight Froch like that. He's not stupid. He's actually very tactically smart, and he just boxed Froch's ears off, and the blueprints there. Andre Ward showed how to beat him. Not only did he beat him from the outside, but he also beat him from the inside. And this is the problem. Froch, as warrior-like as he is, likes to tear up. The reason why he didn't have a rematch with Andre Ward, he'd be the first one to admit it. He just didn't want that style of fighting. He doesn't like it when someone doesn't come on to him, makes it a war. George Groves made it a war. Mikhail Kessler made it a war. Arthur Abraham made it a war. Lucien Butte, overrated as he was, made it a war. That's not how you fight Froch. He's a very good fighter if you fight like that. But if you fight someone like Andre Ward, who Calzaghe for me was even better than and could fight a similar style, he's going to be in trouble because his footwork is completely redundant and he just get outboxed and outmanoeuvred. So it's just laughable. Let it go as well. What are you, 43 now? Calzaghe's 48. You've been retired 6 years. Calzaghe's been retired 12 years. He's just lost his father and mother. Have a bit of respect. The last thing he's thinking about is fighting an old timer like yourself. He's got nothing to prove. He's a Hall of Famer. He was, a two-weight world champion. He, Ring Magazine in light heavy, a unified super middleweight champion. He's got nothing to prove. To let it go. Yes, it's a fantasy fight, and I get you want to talk about that with Eddie Hearn and whatnot, but be respectful and don't say you're dying Calzaghe out. It just irritates me. And thankfully 95% of the boxing public see that as well. Because let's be right, not only did he lose to Andre Ward, he lost to Mikhail Kessler. He also had a war with Mikhail Kessler, who was past his prime at that time. He beat an overrated, overhyped Lucien Butte, who Digao beat as well. So that kind of gives you the level of Lucien Butte. And that was in, Froch's hometown. He had two wars with Groves. Yes, it was a peach of a right hand. But, let's be honest, Groves didn't have the great gas engine and he didn't have a great chin. And, he got exposed himself, against Callum Smith and against Badu Jack. So, the people Froch beat, you have to look at the resume a little bit closer, don't you? Jermaine Taylor was a busted flush by then, didn't he? He'd been beaten up and dismantled by Kelly Pavlik twice, and he wasn't the same fighter who'd beaten Hopkins, and he was still, 30 seconds away from beating Froch. Again, fantastic credit to Froch. Not undisputed. He was a fighter and a warrior, great heart, great engine, and he kept coming at you. But, Jermaine Taylor was 20 seconds, and a pass at Jermaine Taylor was 20 seconds from beating him. So, you have to look at these kind of things and go, what's Prime Calzaghe going to do to Froch? A lot more, and I think it'd be more conclusive than when Ward beat him. So, listen, a very good fighter, Froch, but ultimately one-dimensional and didn't have the ability to adapt. Calzaghe would have thrown punches from all angles, would have got out of range, and would just bombard him with punches. And unlike Groves, he could keep doing it and doing it and doing it. He wouldn't run out of gas. and he had a very good shot on him, and he could stand there and have it if he wanted to, but he could also stand out of range and box your head off, and that's what he would have done to Froch. I'm sorry to say. I'm not saying he would have knocked Froch out. I mean, Froch had 9 chin. No one's disputing that, but I think you'd have peppered him, beat him up with cuts. It might have been stopped just by the bombardment, but I think the most likely outcome was the Calzaghe clear unanimous decision, and that's that. So show a bit of respect. Calzaghe, for me, is a great fighter. Cole Froch was a very good fighter, and that's the difference. When they talk about the top 100 fighters of all time, Calzaghe's got a real shot of getting in that list. 46-0, beat some great fighters. Miguel Kessler, especially in his prime. Froch will get nowhere near that list, and that's the difference. It's not get above your station now, Froch. Yes, we know you're a celebrity now. Yes, you're kind of like a caricature of yourself. You make a lot of jokes. I get that, some tongue-in-cheek. But the reason why you're disliked by a lot of the British public is because we see through that, and a lot of things you say in half jest, but you're also saying half truths. You firmly believe that you're as great as you say you are. There's a saying: if you're chocolate, you eat yourself, and that's the problem with you. That's why you're disliked. And I don't think you're always rational and reasonable with your thinking. And, that's why you're disliked. I'm sorry to say, Cole Froch. And you're irritating and making yourself sound like a bit like an idiot and a bit of a baby at 43 years old. Grow up, let it go. As Calzaghe says, I'm living in your head, and he clearly is. There's bitterness. I mean, you ducked the gal, if you want to be like that. You didn't fight the up-and-comers, and when you say Calzaghe didn't fight you, at the end of the day, he was 36, pushing 37 years old. You weren't a name back then. You were fighting for a vacant world title, but you weren't a draw, you weren't a name, and you were 30 years old. Calzaghe was on the way out. But if the money was right and the opportunity was right, and you was a big name like you were when you fought to the tail end of your career, when you fought the likes of Kessler and Groves, then he would have fought you. No question. But let's be right. You'll be the first to admit this. 2008, you weren't with Eddie Hearn, you weren't with Sky Sports, you were with Mick Hennessy. You were pretty much unknown, unless you were a big boxing fan. You weren't known to the general public, and you weren't a big draw, and you weren't a money draw. And Calzaghe had nothing to prove at super middleweight. He's moved up to light heavy. He didn't need to fight you, and you were the same about James DeGale. So, let's have it right. Let's be honest, have a reality check, and let it go. He is living in your head. Let go of the bitterness and just accept what it was. You had a good career. Calzaghe had a great career, and that's that. Next you'll be comparing yourself to Floyd Mayweather. It's laughable. Be happy what you achieved. You've earned some money. It sounds like you've been smart with your money. Credit to you. But stop the bitterness. Stop the petty comments. And just get back to what you do now. Be a good pundit. And don't disrespect the Hall of Famers, because you get more and more disliked. That's my opinion anyway. And I know a lot of people agree with me, and that's been confirmed all over the boxing outlets at the moment. But let me hear what you guys think. Do you honestly think that Prime Froch gets anywhere near Prime Calzaghe? For me, Calzaghe beats him all day long in a unanimous points decision. And as for fighting now, it's laughable. Let it go. Calzaghe's 48 years old. You're 43. Be a man. Be a grown-up man. Shake hands and move on. All right, guys. I'm out. I'll be back for you soon. All right, bye.